Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Maligayang Nipasko. My name is Zarina Saldana. A lot of people call me Coach TGS, and it is my pleasure to share the stage for my YouTube channel with a very special friend and sister in faith. And she will be, she's like my partner in this big endeavor that we just jumped right into. With I don't know if we thought about this, we just really wanted to help. So please welcome, of course, Ilsa Reyes with me on screen.
Hi, Coach TGS. I'm so excited to work with you, and I love the music. While I was waiting for us to come out, I was actually dancing with the music.
Wow.
Thanks to Ada out there, and a special shout out to our batchmates who are watching right now, Coach TGS.
Yes. Hello,
Hi,
everybody. Okay.
everyone.
I will have to wear my glasses. I cannot pretend anymore, Ilsa. I'm 51. Wait, are you 50 na ba?
I'm 50 this year, 2020.
Ay, kainis. Okay, one 1 year. Okay, I'm 1 year older. I'm 51, but we're both batchmates in St. Paul,
Mhm.
Quezon
Quezon
City.
City, yes. And we're
Sabi ko
in the
kasi college eh. Okay.
and we're in this Christmas spirit. So you're wearing red and I'm wearing green.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. Now, just before we start our talk, and since a lot of people are still coming in,
Mhm.
let's talk about how did we get into this this project ba, Ilsa? I remember that we've always wanted to work together.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kasi dun sa mga viewers natin, sa mga nanonood, when you see us tonight, this is the first time that we're working together. You will see how polar opposites kami when we when we train, when we speak, very kami, ano ba, opposite poles tama ba of the spectrum.
Ano ba spectrum?
Yan, may spectrum akong nalalaman, o 'di ba? So, ito yung kakaiba. So, I've invited Ilsa to come work with me in this little project, no,
Mhm.
Ils, no? So,
Mm-mm.
last week, which was my birthday,
Happy
I was,
birthday.
oh, thank you so much. Okay,
Mhm.
pinapaalala talaga na nag-51 ako. Okay. I, I was approached by one of my former staff, and he was asking me if I would be interested to help out a community.
Mhm.
Okay. So, isa siyang purok, no?
Mhm.
'Di ba? Purok, so mas maliit pa yata 'yun sa sitio ba 'yun? Mas
Mhm.
maliit siya.
Mhm.
Kasi because nga of Ulysses and Rolly,
Mm.
natanggal yung mga bubong
Bubong.
nung kanilang mga bahay.
Mm.
Okay. So, ang request nila, sana if we could provide nipa, yung nipa leaves ba? Actually,
Mm.
di ko pa naintindihan kung ano yung nipa eh, Ilsa.
Mhm.
Nakakita ka
Mhm.
na ba nun? I mean, yung the raw material.
I can't say nakakita na ako ng raw material, pero yung mga nipa huts definitely nakakita na ako.
Oo, di ba? Yan ang typical na bahay kubo, di ba?
Mm. Yes.
So, yun ang hinihingi nila. So, sabi ko, parang ang simple.
Mhm.
Siyempre, no? Parang ang simple. Actually, ang type ko lang bigay dati was the Noche Buena baskets.
Mhm. Mhm.
Feeling ko, yun na wala kaming probinsya, no? So ako, I grew up in the city. So feeling ko pag nag-Noche Buena basket, dapat masaya na lahat yung tao.
Mhm.
But in the video that was sent to me, yung mga nakapanood po, you will see na yung isang matanda doon, sabi niya, wala naman use yung Noche Buena basket kung
Mm.
wala silang roof
Bubong.
on their heads.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So that was important. So for everybody, I reached out to Sister Ilsa to really help me out and say maybe we can help these people out. I don't know how.
Mm. Mm.
Hindi naman ako kayamanan. Naks. Hindi kaya.
Mayaman
Okay.
ka sa friends. Mayaman ka sa
Yan. Oo,
friends.
mayaman tayo sa friends.
Oo, oo.
Right, right. And so we said baka we can give our talent
Yes.
to more people and
Mm.
also share naman a good message for Christmas and the coming 2021.
Right, oo.
Diba?
At kahit naman hindi lahat makapanood tonight, this will be recorded so other people can still watch what we're going to share tonight, right?
Yes, that's true.
Mm.
So this will be recorded and it will be uploaded
Mhm.
here at the Coach TGS channel. So
Mhm.
nag-promote no, like,
Yes,
subscribe so that
go.
you get these types of videos, no? Yung mga feel
Mm.
good videos natin.
Correct.
Diba? So Ilsa, bakit ka naman napapayag
Eh,
to
kasi si
join
Coach
me?
TGS yung nagtatanong sa akin.
Wow, okay.
Well,
No,
of course. Oo. Of course, yung Polynesian spirit, di ba?
Mm-mm.
We're drawn by the same spirit of generosity, sense of mission, and we want to use our gifts for the greater glory of God and to help our fellow men, lalo na yung mga nasalanta ng bagyo. Of course, maraming tao may mga pinagdadaanan ngayon, and I found your purpose to be such an altruistic and noble one. So, sino ba naman ako para humindi sa Coach TGS? No? Sabi ko, go, let's do this.
Yes, yes.
Oo.
And at least we get to work together finally.
Oo
Uh,
nga, oo.
and our audience, yung subscribers natin, will
Mm,
get to see us in action. Kasi minsan yung
mm,
ating mga talks, Ilsa, you do a lot of talks, no?
mm.
I also do a lot of training programs. Minsan, I'm very, well, sa corporate ako, always ini-invite, no?
Mm,
So,
mm.
syempre, kung sino lang yung company, yun lang yung nare-reach na nabibigyan ko ng message, no?
Mm,
What
mm.
about you, Ilsa? What are you busy now?
I'm busy with webinars and I have columns and articles. May mga deadlines ako for magazines where I write for the youth, for World Mission Magazine, no? I'm also into promoting health products. I'm a director of Lifeway Phototherapy Patches. Pero I remember we did guest you, I think once ba or twice, that was supposed to be more than once eh, sa teleradyo noon. And
Yeah.
napakahusay
Yes.
talaga ni
Thank
Coach
you. Thank you.
TGS. And you even organized a conference, right? So
Mhm. Mhm.
among women speakers and other
Mhm.
leaders.
Mhm.
No?
Mhm.
So nakakatuwa kasi we're putting our heads and our hearts together.
That's right. That's right. And I think that was no. I guessed that one. You had two shows in ABS-CBN
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
before, no? And I
Yes.
think I guessed it on both shows.
Ayun, oo. Kasi napaka-in-demand ni Coach TGS. Very
Ikaw ang mas in
creative.
demand.
Napapanood ko
Ikaw ang
kasi
mas in demand ka.
yun.
Okay.
Nakakatuwa.
Because what is your book now? What are you promoting now?
I'm actually still writing a book. I was hoping to finish it
Nice.
by December of this year. Kaya lang parang bumibuelo pa ako. Marami pang
Mm-mm.
mga thoughts, no? So sabi ko, I won't rush it. Mahirap pilitin na kailangan i-rush. Pero hopefully by next year, it will be out. And it has something to do with resilience. Kasi
Oh,
kailangan natin
nice.
yan, di ba?
Yes, yes.
Oh, so tingnan natin what 2021 has for all of us. Sabi nga nila, be kind 2021.
Yeah. How are you in this pandemic, Ilsa?
Nako, how am I? I'm challenged, no? Kasi I do live with senior citizens here in our house and parang may mga anak ako, kahit wala akong mga anak, but parang kung may mga anak, so I'm the one who has to do the shopping online and whenever may mga requests talaga na hindi magawa online, I have to go out and make sure I am healthy, no? So, merong ganyan, may multitasking pa dahil may trabaho nga tayo, may mission tayo, mga talks. Kaya busy-busy. No? Pero I don't forget to take care of myself and to enjoy. I'm also into Asian dramas. Ikaw ba, Coach TGS, nanonood ka ng mga Asian dramas?
Unfortunately, I haven't been bitten by the Korean bug.
Pa.
Siguro hanggang ano pa lang ako, BTS. 'Di ba?
O di
Yung
nanonood ka
mga
ng mga
kanta-kanta because I have
Dynamite, mga
yes, I have two teenagers.
oo.
One is 17 and the other one is 14. And so
Ah,
kung senior citizen ang kasama mo, ang kasama ko naman ay two teenagers who are not allowed to go out. And I'm
oh.
sure a lot of our people watching us right now na
Mm,
nagre-resonate yung same situation no. Either you have a
mm.
parent who you're taking care of your of, or children who
Yes.
get really bored right now, who get
Mm,
really bored.
mm.
And so, what do you do? What
Mm,
do you do during this situation? And I think that is why when we were talking about what topic should we discuss, we decided to really send out a message para
correct.
dun sa mga um, this is not just about fundraising. This is also
Mm,
really about sending to everybody that you're not alone. Okay,
correct.
we're all in this together,
Yes.
and that message is going to be uh, shared with you
Mm.
tonight by both of us. So, are you ready,
Yes, I'm
Ilsa? Okay,
ready.
so let me introduce you formally. Okay, so I know you're gonna hide your video first,
Okay.
and let's get something on screen. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm so excited because we're starting this session right now. Again, you've met her a while ago, but let me formally introduce my friend and soon to be your friend. Ilse Reyes is an award winning communicator called to share God's healing love and the advocacy of holistic wellness. She is the author of psycho spiritual books on wholeness. She's a radio host, a resiliency therapist, and a director of LifeWave phototherapy patches. Okay? Tonight, she will be sharing with us how to be healthy inside out. This is a very important message to all of us, parents, children, teenagers who are watching, uh, uh, spouses, employers, bosses, and also those who are working right now in the same situation. So, are you ready, everybody? Here she is, Ilsa Reyes.
Thank you very much, Coach TGS, and hello, everyone. And if we also have friends from abroad, it might be good morning or good afternoon wherever you are. So I'd like to start sharing my screen right now, and we're going to talk about being healthy from the inside out. And I'm sure that everyone is going through something at the moment. Actually, I already asked me earlier how I was. I'd like to find out how you all are. What are you feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? I guess many of us are feeling rather anxious. We are worried because the pandemic is far from over. We've heard about the vaccines being prepared, and in some areas of the world, especially in the United Kingdom, the vaccination has started, but before it reaches the Philippines and many areas in our country, it will take some more time. So we are still being asked to take very good care of ourselves. Now, a lot of industries have suffered as well. Families, parents are worried about their finances. Many individuals have lost their jobs. And of course, we know of people who have actually lost loved ones because they died due to COVID. Others may have died for other reasons. I know of somebody whose unfortunately husband was killed, and it was very, very sad for both the mother and the daughter. And there is a rise in cases of depression. So there are many negative feelings we might be experiencing at the moment. According to the National Center for Mental Health, and I'd like to quote directly from them, if you would be noticing in my slides, I would be quoting several authorities and experts. No? The impact of disease outbreaks like the COVID-19 pandemic, it is extensive and may cause tremendous stress. Everyone reacts differently to this stress, and strong emotions such as fear and anxiety may arise due to the uncertainty of its eventuality. Effective coping can help in maintaining our well being and equilibrium. In fact, there were surveys done recently, and the surveys have indicated that more than 50% of Filipinos feel greatly stressed. So they're not saying that they're just stressed, they are greatly stressed. Therefore, it is safe to say that flattening the mental health curve is the very next big coronavirus challenge. You know, before COVID 19 happened, I was already giving talks on mental health and how to overcome depression. I was informed and I saw reports that depression was very much on the rise, especially among young people and even senior citizens. That was pre COVID. Can you imagine what the situation is right now? And it is very important to take note that many scientists also have seen the importance of the integration and connection between the spirit, the mind, and the body. Many physical sicknesses are actually related to inner wounds. For example, there was this lady whom I accompanied, and she was constantly suffering from psoriasis, no? Constantly suffering from it. She went to the best dermatologists in the country, and they actually prescribed both oral medication and ointments, and these would relieve her for a certain time, but the psoriasis would always come back. Later on, when a counselor and myself, we accompanied her in her journey, we found out, unfortunately, and excuse me if there are some very young people listening right now, no? But she was physically, shall we say, abused by somebody, and she started looking down on herself. In fact, she was very angry with what happened, and the psoriasis became the manifestation of this anger and the way she looked at herself. She felt that she was not exactly pure any longer, that she was to blame for what happened, even though it was not her fault. Later on, when she went through the process of forgiveness and she was able to forgive the person who did that to her, believe it or not, she was healed of the psoriasis. So, really, many physical situations and physiological conditions are related to what is going on inside of us. In fact, medicalnewstoday.com says if a person experiences stress on a regular basis, they might notice symptoms such as irregular eating patterns, difficulty sleeping, or problems with their heart and immune system. I mentioned earlier to Coach TGS and to all of you out there, I am living with senior citizens, and my mom, particularly, is 86 years old. Of course, she's not allowed to go out, but I have to make sure that her mental health is in good condition. I'm very grateful that my mom is actually in great condition. But of course, she's also looking for her regular activities. She used to have two Bible sharing study sessions, one on Wednesday and another on Thursday. So, two editions of her Bible sharing study group. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, she's not able to go out. She cannot drive the car because at her age, she still does drive. But right now, she can't do that. So, of course, there are times she gets bored, right? And we would not want to see her go into depression because of the feeling of being deprived of her regular activities. It's a good thing my mom keeps herself busy and she has her little projects here in the house. So that keeps her from falling into depression and anxiety. And at the same time, because she is happy with her projects, she is also able to stay strong physiologically. Now, according to psychologytoday.com, specifically from this expert, Dr. Wayne Jonas from Georgetown University, when your internal environment is an optimal healing environment, your physical body and the non physical mind and spirit can be in tune. Activities that connect your physical body with your non physical mind and spirit help to integrate your biological responses with your psychological responses. From these practices, you can experience a sense of wholeness that enhances recovery, resilience, and the restoration of health. Of course, when we see people who have no more will to live, most probably they will stop eating, they're always awake, and they don't find time to rest their minds and their hearts. Their bodies naturally will start to suffer. And they say that you could even die of, in Filipino, sama ng loob, right? So there is a scientific basis for that. And so when people think in an optimistic way, I'd like to avoid the word think positively, no, positively because it's often associated with COVID. When people think in an optimistic way, this actually has a very good impact on their physiological well being. Now, let's take a look at the importance of having a strong spiritual life. Another expert, Dr. Dale Matthews, he's Associate Professor of Medicine at Georgetown University, School of Medicine in Washington, D.C. He wrote a book called The Faith Factor. He's also the Senior Research Fellow at the National Institute for Healthcare Research in Rockville, Maryland. He actually has reviewed more than 200 studies, take note, linking religious commitment and health. And he also cites in his book studies suggesting that people who pray are less likely to get sick, are more likely to recover from surgery and illness, and are better able to cope with their illnesses compared to people who don't pray. Now, before you react negatively, first of all, he doesn't say exactly how the prayer here is being done. So we're not limiting this to a particular religion and to a specific form of prayer only. Secondly, when he speaks of this, he does not say that a person will never get sick if he prays. No, there's no guarantee that a person will not get sick. And of course, when it's our time to go from this world, then no one can stop us from going, because if it's the will of God for us to leave this earth, then it's time for us to do so. Which was, we would just like to point out that prayer does help us open ourselves to healing graces. And I believe that the book of Dr. Matthews affirms this, particularly through the studies that he has cited. Now, positivepsychology.com also reminds us, as a form of mental training, meditation improves core physical and psychological assets, including energy, motivation, and strength. You know, I personally, I practice prayer visualization in the morning and in the evening. I would also like to stress the difference between merely being religious and being spiritual. Some people can be observant of rituals and devotions and formula prayers, but not be necessarily spiritual. Some can get stuck on that level alone of being religious. It's not bad to be religious. In fact, we also need a form of structure in our lives. However, religiosity ideally should lead to spirituality, which is a meaningful connection with our Creator, regardless of what our religion is. And meditation helps us to go into the presence of our Creator. I remember my spiritual director, he's a monk. He used to mention to us, God is always present to us, but we are the ones who are not always present to Him. So meditation helps us enter into the presence of the Creator. And if prayer visualization helps you to go into that deep connection with God, I believe that it can help us also be attuned to the will of our Creator. And He is the one who will also help unblock certain forms of baggage in our lives, emotionally and even physiologically. Studies on the neurophysiological concomitants of meditation have proven that commitment to daily practice can bring promising changes for the mind and the body. So that's according to Renjen and Chaudhary, 2017. According to them also, meditation improves physical health by, take note of this, boosting the immune functions, regulating hormonal discharge, and decreasing cellular inflammation. Hindi ba kapag tayo ay galit, tumataas ang blood pressure? So maaring may mga negative effects yan, hindi lang maari, but most probably, that's going to make us either dizzy or magkakaroon ng mga clots sa katawan natin, magkakaroon ng inflammation. Negative emotions, when left unprocessed, can really lead to physiological disease. Now, what will you do, for example, if you are depressed? And there are many people nowadays, because of COVID-19, who are depressed. So I'm going to run down through some very practical tips. Now, actually, this is just an excerpt from one of my talks, but I'd like to be able to share some important points. Number one is talk to somebody, a close friend you trust, your family member, a guidance counselor, perhaps a priest, nun, pastor, or missionary, or probably seek medical help when it is necessary. If, for example, you've tried talking to somebody you trust and you feel that your negative condition is going on for a long time, specifically for a minimum of 2 weeks, and that your feeling of hopelessness or helplessness is occurring in a chronic way, then perhaps it is important for you to go to somebody who is equipped medically, physiologically, and psychologically to help you get out of your depression, specifically if it is clinical depression. Journal your feelings and your thoughts. You know, depression, another phase of depression is repressed anger. Sometimes it's anger which you took in and uh, you never ventilated it to somebody. You did not talk to somebody about it. And we don't mean that if you're angry, you're going to shout towards the person you're angry with, or you're going to say curse words. No, anger in itself is not bad. Anger in itself is not bad. It's what you do with the anger that either becomes good or bad. So if you are angry with somebody and you physically hurt that person, or you hurl insulting words towards that person, then that could turn into something really bad, right? And it is bad for you to kill somebody when you are angry or to hurt that person physically. But when you admit that you are angry or you are depressed and you seek help for it, and that's the right thing to do. What you can also do is to write your feelings down in a notebook, like in a diary. What some people do is that they pray through journaling by writing down their feelings and speaking to God through their writing. Acknowledge your need for self care and compassion. Sometimes we take care of the whole world, we take care of other people, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And we even oftentimes feel guilty that we are giving time for ourselves. But everybody needs sacred space and a safe space. Do prayer breathing exercises. So again, prayer does not always have to be dekahon. You know, sometimes we grow up thinking this is the only way to pray. But the Holy Spirit is so creative. There is a variety of ways to pray, and we can do it sometimes by uttering a love word or a central word that can lead us into a calm disposition as we ask the Holy Spirit to fill our whole being. Exercise is very good because as we exercise and even do some movements, we release our happy hormones. And at the same time, we can be more physically fit and we can be happier when we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, wow, imagine if you're trying to lose weight and you've lost 5 pounds. Wow, that's an accomplishment. Another is to get a healthy form of massage. Now, it's a bit difficult to do that these days because of COVID, but oftentimes the tip that I give is you can actually lean against the edge of your wall or your ding ding, ika nga, and then you let your back hit that edge and that will massage you. It'll relax your tension points. So it's a very uh, it's a very cheap way of getting a massage, no? Hindi siya mahal. Hindi mo kailangan pumunta ng salon or spa, I should say, to get that massage. And of course, if you do have some savings there and you want to get a chair massage and disinfect that chair massage, you can also use the chair massage as long as it is safe for your back and for other parts of your body. You can as well do dance or body movements because, as I mentioned earlier, movements of your body can actually activate your happy hormones. That's why I see a lot of even senior citizens doing their Zumba online, right? I know of the mother of This priest friend of mine, she always goes live on Facebook and she does her Zumba exercises on Facebook Live. Now, do what you love. Think of your hobbies. Now, like my mom, as I mentioned earlier, she can't get out of the house, but she loves to uh, look at her trinkets and to try to see what she can do with these trinkets. And she attaches them to her pots. She waters her plants, and she has all these projects around the house, especially when it comes to arranging the Belen. Actually, here in the house right now, as we prepare for the coming of Jesus this Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, our Belen is set up in such a way that every Sunday of Advent, we add a particular character to the Belen. And on Christmas Eve, we will be placing the Christ child in the center of the Belen. So that's something to look forward to, right? It's a very meaningful ritual that we have established here in the house. Aside from lighting our Advent candles. So mom is very busy organizing these activities at home. Take care of your plants or pets. Probably many of you have become plantitos and plantitas. I follow a friend of mine from ABS-CBN and she has become a plantita. I love her gorgeous plants, no? So I comment many times. You probably know Miss Gretchen Polido. She's a plantita and I follow her Facebook page. She's a good friend of mine. Listen to music you appreciate. Like earlier, we had wonderful Christmas music, and it put us in the right condition as we were preparing for this session this evening. Go into art therapy and other creative endeavors. Think of the things in your house you have not used before, which you can actually utilize right now. Seek a support group. You might not be able to see them in person, but reunions online can really help you to get in touch with your friends in the same way that Coach TGS and I have gotten in touch with each other and with our batchmates. Get vitamin D from sunlight. They're saying that this is really one of the ways to help build a great immune system against COVID 19. Reach out to others through volunteerism. You might not be able to leave your house, but you can do something for others in the same way we're asking you to please support this project because you can help victims of Raleigh and Yulee to have at least a meaningful Christmas. And if you really need to talk to somebody, call the hotline of the National Center for Mental Health. It's 0917-899-8727 or your counseling group. So you can even take a picture of this number. Digest materials and holistic healing. For example, Coach TGS mentioned that I've written books on the psychospiritual journey to wholeness. If I may say, just in case you might need them, they are on stpauls.ph. They're available. You can purchase them online and they can be delivered to you. Now, pray also for the desire to be healed because sometimes we forget to ask for this special gift from God. And I think it's important for us to pray for this, for graces of forgiveness. Sometimes marami tayong galit na naipon sa loob natin and we get stuck. So this can make us plunge into depression or it destroys our physiological well-being as well as our peace of mind. And pray for renewed inspiration to live meaningfully. As long as we are alive, there is something we can do so that we can have a life of purpose. Now, what are other things that we need to be reminded of? Unresolved spiritual, mental, emotional issues could translate into physiological ailments. Sometimes it is easier for us to say, oh, my body is sick, but we don't go into, oh, my spirit is sick, my heart is sick. But because these days we are more aware of mental health issues, we realize that we should also ask ourselves, am I psychologically and spiritually okay? Because if I'm not, perhaps I need to seek help and healing. Inner healing can bring about healing in physiological, biological conditions, and can make medical devices, supplements that we drink, even medicines, for example, we use more effective because our bodies are predisposed and open to and cooperative in receiving the healing. Sometimes our negative attitudes, they're the ones that block whatever we are taking in, our supplements, our medicines, from working effectively. It's because our brain is commanding our bodies to keep on getting sick, no? Sometimes we don't realize that. So inner healing is very important. And inner healing is coming home to one's true self. We might think that when we see a person, oh, this person is happy, oh, this person is normal, but we don't always see what's going on in his or her mind and heart. And there are people who might look normal on the outside, but in the inside, they might be going through a particular struggle, or they might be feeling that nobody loves them or cares for them. And sometimes we live in our false selves. We have so many masks, yung mga maskara natin, ano? So inner healing is coming home to our true selves. It bears fruit in other areas of our lives and brings immense peace. People who have experienced healing spiritually, psychologically, can be more open to physiological healing and even, take note, financial healing. I know of someone who forgave two persons in her life, and so many blessings started coming in, including financial blessings. I'd like to share with you this beautiful verse from John 10:10. I came so that they might have life and have it more abundantly. So our Creator invites us to have fullness of life. But sometimes we focus so much on the material aspect of our lives. When we buy our dream home, dream car, or when you get the man of your dreams nga. Pero we forget that having an abundant life begins with a good relationship with our Creator and a relationship that is whole and healed. Our relationship with ourselves, we forget that we need to relate with ourselves as well, and with our significant others, with our loved ones, and with the rest of humanity. So, this is the invitation of our Creator for us, that we might have fullness of life. And finally, this is a reminder for all of us, we were meant to thrive, not just to survive. And it is possible, despite all the difficulties we are experiencing right now, we can thrive and not just survive by our Creator's grace. So, with that, I know it's a very brief presentation on my part, but I hope that you were able to get some important points, and they are proving to be helpful to you and will be helpful also to people you care for. So, with this, I'd like to call on Coach TGS back on the stage. Coach TGS.
Thank you. Thank you, Ilsa. Wow, I learned so much tonight.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Yes, yes. I'd like to ask some questions. Okay,
Sure.
Ilsa, are you
Yes.
good? Okay.
Okay.
So I was so curious when you said flattening the mental health curve. Akala ko si COVID lang. I thought it was COVID. It was always the physical thing. I did not realize there is a mental health curve now. Can you tell us
Mm-hmm.
more, where are we now? Are we flattening it?
Mm-hmm. Well, we need to get more statistics, right? But the National Center for Mental Health is telling us that more people really are becoming anxious, stressed out, depressed. And I've been hearing a lot of stories, even from our batchmates who are parents, talking about their children experiencing anxiety. I think many schools out there have actually instructed their guidance counselors to be ready to actually have online sessions with our young people. But it's not just among our young people. We have our senior citizens to worry about. Actually, I read a report that was written by Filipino doctors, but the report was published in the US, and it is about the mental health issues of our senior citizens here in the Philippines.
Oh,
Plus, a lot of people have lost their jobs, businesses have closed down. So, these have greatly affected the mental health conditions of many Filipinos.
I
Therefore, we need to
see.
address this.
Yeah. So is it normal? Maybe normal's not the word. Please correct me. Is it just natural that we get angry with the situation that we
Oh,
are in?
yes.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
are these feelings acceptable? Na
Yes.
magalit tayo sa nangyayari. Sometimes some of us, we get mad at the government. We get in some of us, we get mad at God. I mean,
Mm-mm.
why are we in this such a stressful situation?
Mm-mm. It's very valid to feel these feelings. In fact, I think majority of us have gone through this particular experience, and we need to label our feelings. It's very important in psychotherapy. It's important in counseling that we label our emotions. Kadalasan nga, we even have a list of emotions, whether they are well, we call them either positive emotions or negative emotions. But because of the pandemic, we've been experiencing a lot of frustration, yan, yung sabi mo, anger, and even anger, there could be a range of emotions to describe what we are feeling. Some people could be irritated on a regular basis, others annoyed, others become impatient, others become utterly frustrated. No? So merong mga labels pa dyan eh. Others cannot express it in English, they want to express it in Filipino or in their dialect. So it's okay not to be okay, sabi nga nila, di ba?
Yeah.
We need to accept that because of the situation, I think you and I know it's frustrating, right?
Mm-hmm.
May mga times na talagang nagiinit na rin yung ulo natin. But it is up to us to choose to be proactive or reactive. Kasi if we just say, I'm angry, and then that's it, we get stuck there. We don't find a way to be able to process it or rechannel our energy, then it can turn against us. And we won't be able to do things to help ourselves, right? So we would just plunge into the negative effects of anger or negative effects of frustration. So it's up to us. We have a choice. We can be proactive. We can be reactive. Hopefully, we will be proactive.
Okay. Now, I like what you said about yung false self natin. You
Mm-mm.
know, that we have so many masks. Because and this is my experience as a parent, and my children are listening and watching me now. It's parang it's our job, and I'm talking to all the parents out there. 'Di ba? 'Di ba? It's our job to put on a brave face that everything is going to be okay. So si mommy, si daddy, 'di ba, parang we don't want the children to panic that hey,
Mhm.
we're having such a hard time. So you put up a brave face pero internally parang pagod na,
Yes.
no?
Mm.
How can we balance that?
Okay.
How can we balance really having that brave face for our kids, yung front natin, no? But at the same time,
Mm-mm.
try to heal ourselves, yung sa loob naman.
Right. Very good question, Coach TGS. Actually, one of the first talks I gave during this pandemic, early in the pandemic, was family wellness amid COVID 19. And three things. Number one, parents you also need your sacred space. So even if you're together in the house, you've got to have your sacred space also, even if it's just a few minutes. Everybody needs that form of solitude for just a couple of minutes because you need to collect yourself and to recollect yourself as well to be able to commune with God and have some peace of mind. Secondly, it's important even for parents to have some form of a support group. So, for example, among parents of your children's school, you can get together online and talk about the challenges of online learning and managing affairs inside the house. No? So you can talk among yourselves. I think that's important. In the same way that the children can, or the kids can talk about these challenges also among themselves. And I know many schools have called on facilitators, whether these are counselors or retreat facilitators, to help the young people go through their challenges of COVID 19. And thirdly, don't be afraid to share your challenges with your family. And you can have prayer session, for example, together. Like, okay, let's do this every Saturday afternoon. Family, let's get together and let's share. I think one of the blessings of COVID-19 is that people are forced to do a deeper kind of bonding among themselves within the house. Because before everybody was busy, everybody was out, no? But now people have been forced to, okay, stay put, we're in the house, let's talk. And when I say talk, not everybody's going to utter or ventilate all the time. Members of the family should also listen to each other, really have this communication on a deep level.
Okay, thanks, Ilsa. I think I have a question on the chat. Parang anak ko yung nagtanong. Okay. Ba't hindi na ako yung tinanong mo? Okay, sige. Okay. My daughter says, how do we balance personal mental health and our practical responsibilities?
Okay. When she asks that, is she speaking about a young person's perspective, or is it?
I would think so. I mean, I know there are a lot of young people watching us tonight, Ilsa. So
Mhm.
how can I think that questions for her generation, her age level.
Mm-mm. I think one of the challenges of COVID-19 for many young people is that they have not had time for personal, when I say personal, face to face encounter with their friends. I know parents who have told me that their children sometimes end up crying because they miss their friends so much. And even though they can talk to each other online, it's different when you actually see your friends face to face. I mean, we were in high school together and it was so much fun seeing each other. We didn't have social media yet at that time, right? But we felt the connection, the authentic relationship between us. So I think that's a major challenge of COVID-19, but we have to make the most out of what we have. And so young people, as I also mentioned earlier, need to have bonding time online. But I think that parents need to guide our young people as to how this can be done as well. And this includes school authorities helping our young people to be able to bond virtually, to be able to discuss what they're going through because of their mental health issues. But at the same time, they need to be busy by themselves, even when they're offline. I keep reminding young people social media is not everything. Remember, social media is part of your life. There are a lot of things you're doing online, but your life online is not everything. You need your life outside of social media. And what you have now is the opportunity to be able to communicate with your parents regarding what you are going through. It's very challenging because sometimes there's a generation gap. Some young people complain, oh, but my mom, my dad, they don't understand what I'm going through. And that's why COVID is pushing us to um, deeper levels of communication. And to remember that um, our self worth is not dependent on social media alone. Our self worth takes soul work. It takes hard work also to be able to say, who am I really? With or without social media, even though I'm outside the school, who am I? And to base that self worth on how God looks at you without any conditions. He loves you and He has given you special talents to use, not only online, but offline as well. So develop those talents while you have the time and while you're in your house.
Okay, thanks, Ilsa. Oh, the questions are flooding in now. So, one of our viewers is asking, you mentioned that it is okay to care for self instead of feeling like the troubles of the world are on your shoulder. But this comes with feelings of guilt. Naku, nanay to. Nanay to eh. Okay, nanay to. Sa mga parents yan, how do you shake off
Mhm.
the guilt? Tama naman.
Okay.
Yeah, how do
A
you shake off the
very
guilt?
Yes, a very good question. No? But a very important point I always make is you cannot give what you do not have.
Ay,
You might
correct.
think that you are able to give the best
Mm-hmm.
of yourself all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but there will come a time when you'll say enough. And you're going to be irritable towards other people because you've forgotten yourself. So self care is very, very important. We cannot give what we do not have. Healthy self love is not selfish. That's actually the first chapter of my book. Healthy self love is not selfish. If you can't get out of that paradigm, say it to yourself every day. Healthy self love is not selfish because when you are happy, other people around you will be happy as well. When you're masungit, it's going to affect everybody. The big S, sumpong and sungit, it's going to have a ripple effect. So you might think you're managing for a while, but later on you're going to explode. So before you explode, be aware of what you're experiencing and have time for yourself. Take care of yourself.
I like that, Ilsa. We have to take care of ourselves so that we are able to care for others. 'Di ba yun naman
Correct.
yung message eh, 'di
Yes.
ba?
Yes.
Sabi mo we cannot give what we do not have. So it has to start from us, no? Now
Mm-mm.
there are there are questions coming in from the younger ones like can we do to take care of our mental health as a student? What advice can you give to younger people who are suffering from mental health issues? Maybe you can give an advice, for the young ones. What can they do? What
Mm-mm.
how should they love themselves?
Okay. I think basically some of the points that I mentioned there could help also, regardless of age. So, as a young person, when you're experiencing something, put a label to it. What are you experiencing? And if you're not able to put a label to it, seek somebody you can speak with about it. And perhaps that person, like for example, the counselors that are being made available to you by your schools, no, they're equipped to guide you, to help you identify what you're going through. And we have to spend time processing these things. Sometimes we take them for granted because we're so busy with academic requirements and we think that intelligence quotient is the only thing that matters. But I think with the mental health issues on the rise these days, we're beginning to see that emotional quotient is very important. Adversity quotient, we even call it
Mm,
that, the ability
yeah.
to be able to overcome your struggles is very important. So first, talk to somebody about it. If you feel comfortable talking to your mom or your dad about it, please. I think your mom cares for you, your dad cares for you. But if you feel that, oh, they just might get hurt or offended with what I'm going to say, then request for a counselor who could be available for you online. I know of schools who actually say you can line up for an appointment and we'll get in touch with you through Zoom and we can talk privately. So you can do that. It's very helpful.
Okay. So on that note, we will talk about now the practical ways naman, no?
Yes.
Kasi yan. So practical
You.
ways naman tayo.
Yeah.
Kasi Ilsa already told us that we have to heal ourselves sa loob muna, no? Self-care. Tapos ilabas natin what are the, I guess, sorry for the term, positive. Nagsusorry na tayo pag positive ang ginagamit. But it's really how do you now manifest? How do you
Mm-mm.
manifest that you are okay and you have self-worth? And
Yes.
that's my topic.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yours
I
too.
am going to disappear for a while, Elsa.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will introduce you. All right, folks. Oh, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the great, the wonderful, the brilliant. Zarina Saldana, or Coach TGS, is the president of Trans Global Services Incorporated, a training and consultancy company which specializes in professional development programs, including leadership and communication courses. She is the author of Lead and Be Led and is a certified John Maxwell speaker and trainer. Her topic is Thrive is a Verb, which will tackle ways we can thrive for 2021 despite all the hardships this year. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends out there, it is my privilege to introduce to you my batchmate, the smart and the indefatigable Coach TGS.
Thank you, Ilsa. Ang hirap ng indefatigable. How do you spell that? Okay, indefatigable. Thanks, Ilsa. Actually, Ilsa, she's our salutatorian. Okay? So, yan ang smart. But what I like about our batch is we put all our talents together to give the message across. And this is my message to you tonight. Okay, so I'm going to take off rather my glasses. And I stood up because we're going to talk about this topic. Remember, Ilsa's last word in her topic was thrive. That we're not here to just survive, we're here to thrive. And so I'm going to give a shout out to all of you. Thrive is a verb. What is a verb? What is a verb? Verb is action, right? Verb is action in our grammar class, if you remember. Verb is action. Therefore, in philo class naman, if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, therefore, A is equal to C. What does that mean? It means thrive means action. You've got to do something with your life for the next how many days to end 2020 and come out strong, ready for 2021. This is going to be, you know, like like a rara for you guys. Once you once you take care of yourself and once you feel good inside, once you fix what's inside, then manifest it outside. And that's what we mean when we ask you to thrive. Okay? So, before we begin, I want you first to I want you to meet Roger Bannister. Kilala niyo ba si Roger Bannister? Hindi niyo kilala yan kasi black and white. Because he's not exactly like a super athlete, but medyo mid-athlete, no? 1954. Roger Bannister was a Briton yan. And at that time, in 1954, nobody could run 4 miles, or nobody could run 1 mile under 4 minutes. Nobody. And so that fateful day, 1954, around around May, April, May, mga ganon. Roger Bannister, he woke up, it was very cold, and he was going to run that day. And he told himself, I don't think I'm going to be good today because it's too cold. So he called up his parents and he said, don't come down anymore because I might not win anyway. But of course, parents are there to support. So his parents still went to the race track to watch him, to the stadium. And Roger Bannister ran. He ran his life depended on it. And once he was crossing the finish line, he could hear the announcer saying 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Wow! He beat a record. He made the record. He didn't beat the record. He made the record. He made the record. He felt so good. 46 days later. Remember, nobody in the world has done it, and Roger Bannister has done it. But 46 days later, guess what? Australian John Landy beat his record. John Landy ran the mile in 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Why am I telling you this story? Intro pa lang yan. Ito yung talagang kwento. Sinet up ko lang so that you know that syempre, medyo si Roger Bannister parang ouch ha. Medyo yung competition between Roger Bannister and John Landy was really fierce, no? So, in the Commonwealth Games, I think this was about September of the same year. Can you see the slide? Okay, the one with the red circle, that's Australian John Landy. The one in yellow, I hope you can see the circle, that is Roger Bannister. So you can see that Roger Bannister is like on the left side of the track. Kita nyo, di ba? Nasa left side. Okay. So they were running. Malapit na yung finish line. They could see. They could see the finish line. They could see the goal. What happened next? Look at that picture. I'm gonna position myself like this. Roger Bannister looked over his shoulder for like a mere second. And what did that was John Landy looked over his shoulder pala. And what did Roger Bannister do? He passed John Landy on the right. Just a split second that he looked over, he took his eyes off the finish line. And so what happened? Roger Bannister beat John Landy. And he won. Sakit kay John Landy, no? What is the message? What is my message to you, everybody? Keep your eyes on the prize. Sobrang sakit na nung nangyari. Ginawan pa sila ng statwa. Ayan, silang dalawa sa may Canada yan. See? That split second. Every time I see that picture, and for those of you who get to see that statue, it gives you and inspires you to keep your eyes on the prize. And what is the prize? The prize is whatever goal you set yourself. I know a lot of young people are watching now. Come on. What are the goals that you want, that you set yourself? What are the goals for 2021? Tanggapin na, tapos na ang 2020 in a matter of what? Ano ba ngayon? 12, no? So in a matter of 18 days? About 18 days, puputok na yung New Year. So I want you to get ready to keep your eyes on your goal. And what is the goal of everybody? Ano ba yung pinag-uusapan natin ever since? The goal of everybody is to be happy. Diba? Now, happiness is relative. Ano ba yung what makes you happy? So if you look at the slide now, pera ba? Is it money? Money makes you happy. What about the goals that you set, like you're gonna renovate your house, buy a new house, buy a new car, buy stuff? Yan ba ang happiness natin? Are these our goals? Nako, 12. Oh, nag-add to cart ba kayo? Lazada 12 and Shopee 12. Does that make us happy? Naku, maraming I can feel it. I can feel it from the screen that a lot of you are smiling kasi nag-add to cart at nag-check out ho kayo. Because it made you happy. And then you'll say, Coach, kasi naman, mga mababaw lang yan. Pero at least, sumaya naman kami. Okay, I get it. I won't be a hypocrite and say, money doesn't make us happy. Or things that we buy for ourselves make us happy. Of course, it does. But this is what will make you, I guess, happier. It's not always about us. It's not always about me. It's about our family. It's about people in our workplace. It's about our community. Being happy and making other people be happy, feel the same happiness as you do, is one of the very best goals that you can set. Making people smile, making people happy every day. And maybe your slump of depression maybe can come out and be imbis na you feel bad about yourself. Once you have healed and once you've already told yourself that, okay, my goal is to make other people happy. Okay, then maybe you can do that. That's a great goal, everybody. To make people in your family happy, your work colleagues, and of course, people around you. So, what am I begging you to do for tonight? I need you to thrive. And here are 6 practical tips. 6 lang. Kasi sandali lang yung ating time together. So, 6 practical tips. Letter T, take one day at a time. Do not worry about the future. Ay, ano mangyayari sa 2021? Tutuloy pa ba itong pandemic, etc. Take one day at a time, everybody. Sabi nga ni Ilsa kanina, breathe. Breathe. Take one day at a time and approach one day at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. For the young people who are watching, if you're studying online, take one day at a time. Do not be anxious. Do not worry. Take one day at a time. A while ago, I told about helping others. That's H. Help others along the way. Because, my dear friends, you're not the only ones feeling this way. Lahat tayo tinamaan. The world tinamaan ng pandemic. Hindi lang ikaw. So, everybody. So, what do? We need to help others along the way. Fight through the struggle. We're all in this together. Kanina ko pa sinasabi, no? So, kumbaga, help others. Hindi man pwede maghawak kamay ngayon dahil bawal. But be present for others. That's a great help already. One call, one virtual call, one text, send a Bible message, send a positive note like, have a great day, smile today. That's helping other people already in the simplest of way. Now we go to R, raise the bar. Okay. As a corporate trainer, I always tell the people, if you are going to accept only na eto na kayo, eto na tayo, ganito ganito yung gagawin natin. Then, yung depression natin, yung slump natin, yung hanggang doon lang din kasi tinanggap mo na eh. So pati yung how you feel about yourself and how you feel about others and how you feel about the situation, ganun pa rin. So I need you. I'm challenging everybody, raise the bar next year. Taas nyo lang. Taas nyo lang. And I'm talking about physical health, mental health, spiritual health. Raise it. Whatever you've been doing now, do it a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay? So maybe we can exercise a little bit more. O kaya eat less. Kung ayaw nyo ng more, eat less. Diba? Read the book. Raise the bar for yourself. Raise where whatever slump you are in, you've got to raise yourself. Raise yourself. So that's T, H, R. What is I? Ito yung sinuggest ni Ilsa din kanina. No? Initiate a hobby, initiate a project, initiate a bright idea. That idea that you've never worked on, maybe that apple pie that you've never baked because you're so scared of baking, maybe you should do that. Maybe you've never played a musical instrument, maybe you should learn to do that. Initiate something that will get you out of the slump. Try something new. That's part of raising the bar. You're already tapping to your potential. Baka natulog na yung potential natin because we're so, we became complacent. Tapos nung tumama yung COVID this year, we got so surprised. So initiate something new. That's my challenge to everybody, ha? Try something new, something you've never done before. I'm going to share with you, during this pandemic, ako din nawindang, no? I mean, we got, when I train, I usually train face to face. We do our engagements with companies face to face. And then all of a sudden they said March 15, 2020 lockdown. What? So what did I do? I had to learn to do online. Yabang ko na nga dahil pero mo YouTube live. I didn't know. I mean, when I started the YouTube channel, I was like, sige, maybe. But now I have to be tech savvy. So I had to initiate Coach TGS version, 20.21. I have to get ready because this thing might might still stretch for 2021. So you've got to initiate, you've got to reinvent yourself for next year. V, validate. Validate. Validate means give yourself a pat on the back. Wag nyo naman, don't be too hard on yourself. Purihin nyo naman, compliment yourself. Get somebody to compliment you and say, did I do well today? And they would say, yeah, you did really well. I mean, I love that when I do that with my children. And I would say, was mom okay? And they would say, mom, was my speech okay? You have to validate each other. Because just like what we said in the previous talk, you've got to be able to support one another. We've got to support each other. And finally, please, please, 2021, not even 2021, wag nyo na antayin. Right after this talk, make sure that you live life with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is my most favorite word in the dictionary. Enthusiasm comes from the Greek word enthos. And enthos means God is within. God is within. So when you have somebody who's lulugu, somebody who's like, so always, you tell them, hey, smile. Because God is within you. Be enthusiastic. And that smile on your face will influence another person to smile. And you're spreading the happiness and you're spreading the love. And that's how we support each other. That's how we thrive for 2021. Now you're going to tell me, hey, coach, easy to say, hard to do. Actually, kahit yung kay Ilsa's na talk, easy to say, hard to do. Okay. I'm going to end my talk with another story. Okay? Remember this? Remember this story in the Bible? Remember, I love St. Peter. St. Peter's my super favorite saint, okay? Because he's so human. He shows us his weaknesses. St. Peter, di ba nakita niya? He saw Jesus walking on the water. And he said, ay, parang gusto ko yan. Jesus, can I walk? Try naman. And Jesus said, come. Diba? He extended his hand and come. And Peter was looking at Jesus and he started to walk towards Jesus. But he heard the thunder. He looked up and he saw the lightning. He felt the hanging amihan. He felt the wind on his face. And he became afraid. He took his eyes off Jesus. And what happened next? We know what happened next. He started to sink. He started to drown. And obviously, Jesus also picked him up from the water. Pulled him out from the water. What is my message to everybody? Keep your eyes on Christ. You may call him a different way because it doesn't matter what religion. You can call him Buddha or Allah or whoever. But keep your eye on that supreme being. Keep your eyes on Christ. Why? Because just like our previous talk, Christ will make you thrive for 2021. I wish you well, everyone, and I pray for everybody's thriving for the days to come, getting ready for 2021. Okay. Ilsa, come and join me.
Wow, brava! Grabe. I was so inspired with your talk, Coach
Ay,
TGS.
Uupo
Ganda-ganda
na ako.
naman.
Uupo na ako dahil 51 na ako. Ang tagal ko pala nakatayo. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. Lumalabas yung happy hormones, diba?
Yes,
Kahit
that's
natin yung
true.
mga actions na ganyan
That's
nakakatibay
true.
yan.
That's true.
So, nakakatuwa yung iyong acronym na Thrive. I love your stories about Roger Bannister and John Landy.
Yes.
Talaga si John Pabaya, no? He took things for granted. Lumingon-lingon pa siya.
Yeah.
Lalo tuloy siya. Ang sakit. But I also love your story about Saint Peter and keeping our eyes on Christ. So, ang dami-dami naming natutunan. Nako. Thank you, Coach TGS. Ngayon, I also have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Ito naman ang sasagot. No? Meron tayong phone-in question. Ay, hindi na
Ay,
pala
may
phone-in
phone in the
question
chat
yan. Kasi
in.
nasa YouTube na
Ano tayo? Teki, mga nasa chat box.
Sige,
Okay.
sige. Ako muna yung magtatanong. Okay. Una, sabi mo that we should also help other people because it's not only about ourselves. But let's face it, we both have been talking about thriving, no? Kaya lang sabi nga nila, meron akong nakitang article sa dyaryo eh. Sabi nila, marami pa rin sa mga Pilipino are on surviving mode because they're having a difficult time looking for work. They don't know where to get money to pay for their expenses, to buy food, no? So, sabi mo nga, it's easier said than done. What would you advise people who are saying, how can I help others? I'm having a hard time helping myself.
Well, that's true. Sabi nga, charity begins at home. Diba sabi?
Mm-mm.
So you have to help yourself first in order to help others. Sabi mo din, parang naputol naman ako. Yung anak ko, pasensya na ha, okay. My daughter's fixing the camera. You have to elongate me, my dear, because you know I am on the chubby side. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. So let me go back to what I was saying. So tama naman, charity begins at home. Sabi nga, you cannot give what you do not have.
Mhm.
Siguro ang hihingin ko sa mga tao is it's not always material.
Mhm.
It's not
Mhm.
always material to help other people. You can
Mhm.
pray for people. Di
Yes.
ba? You can listen to other people. Pag kailangan nila ng kausap, pakinig. You know, ang hirap makinig ha. Listening is
Mm.
such a difficult skill. It's easier to talk.
Mm,
So it's
mm.
not always material when we talk about helping people. Okay? So don't
Ayan.
panic, everybody. Diba, don't
Mm,
panic because you
mm.
can help. Like what we're doing, Ilsa, no? What are
Mm.
we sharing today? We're sharing our talents. For
Yes.
everybody who's watching, usually Ilsa and I do paid speeches, but we've waived our professional fees, talent fee namin. We waived namin because we felt this would help more people.
Ayun. Wow naman. Now I can call you Sister Ayi.
Ay! Parang mas bagay sa'yo. Okay. Okay.
Hindi,
Alright.
nakakatuwa naman kasi talaga namang yung wisdom ay lumalabas, no? Okay, salamat siya, no? Hindi laging yung treasure, di ba? Yung time, yung talent, pwede
Yes.
ibigay sa iba. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, you mentioned about raising the bar. How important is goal setting? Kasi di ba sabi mo kanina, for example, if you want to lose weight or you want to gain weight or meron ka ibang skill na gustong matutunan, gaano kahalaga ba yung goal setting?
Oh, that's important. And it does not it goes beyond even this pandemic. You know, we
Mm,
have to have something to strive for
mm.
so that in the end, meron kang sense of fulfillment. I think goals are very important. Kasi if you wake up and then you don't know what to do the next day, 'di
Mm,
ba? Parang and the day ends.
mm.
And I'm sure a lot of you have felt this. Yung natapos yung day, tapos sabi mo sa sarili mo, parang ang bilis, parang wala namang nangyari ngayong
Yeah.
araw na to. Ay, di ba, natawa ka, di ba? Kasi tatamaan tayo lahat. You know, everybody were like, ha, what happened to the day? And we've just
Mm. Yes.
wasted that
Mm.
that day that was given to us. I'm going to
Mm.
share something, and I love to say this.
Oo.
This everybody is given 24 hours. Correct?
Correct,
Tama
correct.
ba, Ilsa?
Yes.
Wala namang nagalit si God na 23 lang ang binigay sa'yo.
Oo nga, tama.
Wala ding namang napaka-special na binigyan ng 25.
Correct.
Right? So we were
Tama.
all given. Time is the
Mm.
greatest equalizer.
Mm,
And
mm.
I think what we do with the time is what separates us. No, sino yung nauuna sa goals nila, sino yung hinahuhuli, because we
Mm.
forget that we are in a constant factor, which is time. So when we know
Mm.
that, then we are more conscious of taking care of ourselves, taking care
Mm.
of others, loving others, sharing, spreading the love, and getting our goals.
Tama. Ayan, galing. Very well said. Thank you, Coach TGS. Now, last question on my part, pero we might have questions there also
Mhm.
sa comment box, no? The question is, kasi marami tayong kilala na namatayan. At yung iba may sakit. no? May
Yeah.
sakit, they have a loved one who is in the hospital, they can't see that person because that person is sick with COVID. You spoke about enthusiasm. So parang hindi ba mahirap to speak about enthusiasm with people who are going through something like this? How can they continue to have that sense of yung sinabi mo kasi yung meaning ng enthusiasm kanina, 'di ba? It has something to do with God, the presence of God within. So paano maging enthusiastic ang isang tao who's probably grieving or not exactly feeling great because there's a
Yes.
loved one who is sick? Mm-mm.
Yes. Ang hirap, no? And
Mm-mm.
I think for us who are outsiders, it's easier to say, "Uy, get over it. Kaya mo 'yan, kaya mo 'yan."
Mm.
But we can only do so much. The person has to choose, just like what you said in your talk. The person has to choose life. The person has to choose to smile,
Mhm.
or unfortunately they may not be ready to get out of it yet. So I
Mhm.
guess this is where the support system comes in, because
Mhm. Mhm.
patience is key. When you
Oo.
have somebody, when you have a friend who's undergoing something, hindi
Mm.
mo na hindi natin dinadaanan yun eh. So we cannot say we understand how you feel because we don't. Because
Mhm.
we don't.
Mhm.
None of our family members, hindi tayo namatayan, walang may sakit. So paano mo sasabing I understand how you feel? So
Mhm.
what you can do is really just wait.
Mhm.
Continue to pray, continue to talk to them. Not really talk. Continue to listen.
Listen, oo,
Just
oo.
listen.
Oo, kasi paminsan parang walang appropriate words to say, no? Pero just making that person feel that you're there for him or her, right?
Mhm.
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 So, you can see, Coach TGS, yung mga nandyan sa comment section. Baka there are questions in relation
Yes,
to that.
yes. Somebody asked, okay, so there's a comment here that they like the rechanneling your energy and labeling your emotions. That's what you said a while ago, Ilsa.
Mhm.
Somebody said the Thrive acronym is a good one. Thank you. And
Mhm.
then somebody said, for all the time we're trying to make up for, how do we avoid burnout or getting overwhelmed in an attempt to thrive?
Mhm. Okay,
You can
yeah.
also answer that, Ilsa. What do you think? Uh,
You wanna go first? Kasi that's your
Sige,
ah,
sige.
sige,
Okay,
I'll
I'll go
share
first.
my thoughts.
Okay. How
Mm.
do you avoid burnout or getting overwhelmed in an attempt to thrive?
Mm.
First of all, I'd like to take a look at the first part of the sentence. So she said, for all the time we're trying to make up for. Don't.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm, mhm.
Kasi mapapagod ka, iha. You
Mm.
don't need what time that is lost.
Mm,
So just
mm.
move on.
Mm,
Because
mm.
if you keep on trying to make up for the time, that's the start
Mm.
of the burnout. That's the
Mm.
start of stress. If you
Mm.
lost it, you lost it.
Mm. Mm.
Then, learn from it and go from there. What do you think,
Mm.
Ilsa?
Yeah, I'd like to take off from there, no? Maganda yung sinabi mo, Coach TGS. One of my favorite prayers is the Serenity Prayer.
Oh, yes.
So
Perfect.
short, but so practical, di ba? Yung
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So may mga bagay na hindi na natin
Mm-mm.
mababago, hindi natin makokontrol, pero
Right.
ano yung pwede nating aksyonan? Doon tayo
Yeah.
mag-focus, di
Yeah.
ba? Of course, kung meron mga bagay na unresolved, yung anger,
Mm-mm.
yung work towards forgiveness by the grace of God, no? Pwede naman yon. So may mga bagay na pag ang feeling ay hindi pa nare-resolve, walang closure, minsan talaga psychologically kailangan din balikan yon, but
Mm-mm.
through a process, through an effective
Mm-mm.
process. Oo, that helps us move forward. Hindi yung nandun lang tayo lagi sa nakaraan.
And maybe they can get a counselor to help them through that process, no? If
Yes,
merong mga pent up
yes.
anger pa, 'di ba?
Mm, mm,
Okay. So
mm.
para at least tama yung way of
Oo,
getting over this
oo.
trials. Okay.
Mm.
And then a lot of people are saying we love the idea of raising the bar. People are saying hello, thank you. But how do you get back motivation?
Are you gonna answer that, or I'll answer it, or
maybe
both?
maybe you can go first. What do you think?
Kasi 'di ba, from a perspective of healing, I look at the reasons why the motivation has been lost.
Mhm.
So I address the root of the problem. So for
Mhm.
example, wala kang gana about a disappointment.
Mhm.
So I think it's good. I will go back to that, yung labeling of the emotion. Na I'm disappointed. Why am I disappointed? And sometimes, it takes also forgiving yourself. Kasi paminsan, we're hard on ourselves, di ba? Yung bang, kailangan maabot natin to, hanggang dito lang yung kaya natin for now eh. So we
Mm.
also have to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
Without saying naman na, wala na akong gagawin. Sabi mo nga, raise the bar, but at the same time, yung pagbabalance din ng hanggang saan ba yung kaya ko for now. That's why it's important to have baby steps. No,
Yes.
yung smart goals, yung
Yes.
realistic. Kasi
Yes.
paminsan naman sobra naman yung ambisyon natin. Hindi naman pala kaya talaga.
Oo. Tapos pag napagod ka, 'di ba?
Correct. Oo. So, minsan I look at the root of the demotivation. Or
Mhm.
paminsan it is a sama ng loob with somebody. So, do I need to talk to that person para malaman ng taong yon kung
Mhm.
bakit may
Mhm.
sama ako ng loob sa kanya? Kung hindi ko naman siya makausap, paano ko may express yung emotions ko? That's why I mentioned kanina yung journaling. Sometimes di mo na masabi dun sa tao dahil di naman willing makinig yung tao.
Yeah.
So, maybe you need to express it through some form of therapy, no, na
Nice.
nakakatulong,
That's true.
'di ba? And then of course yung prayer. Kasi for me, there are times really when I wake up na minsan wala talaga akong gana. And then I pray, Lord, please give me inspiration. Please affirm me. Kasi paminsan parang na-insecure din ako, 'di ba? Lord, kailangan ko ng affirmation mo today. And then He sent
Correct.
somebody, may tatawag.
Ah.
Tapos I realized, that's you. You answered my prayer.
Right.
And now,
Right.
may gasolina na naman ako. Ganyan.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes, yes.
Ikaw naman, ikaw.
Ah,
What are your thoughts?
how do I get back motivation? Kasi totoo
Mm.
naman no? Tayo nawawalan din ng motivation.
Mm,
So,
mm.
everybody. I people might say that I'm this crazy, this is crazy, but I really talk to myself.
Mm, mm.
I have to talk to myself. But,
Mm,
one of my favorite quotes, it's also in my book because super favorite ko to.
mm.
Talk to yourself,
Mm.
but be careful because you are listening.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
'Di
Okay,
ba?
explain,
So
explain.
it means kung ano yung sabihin mo sa sarili mo,
Mhm.
ikaw din yung nakikinig eh. So if
Oo,
you wanna say
oo.
to yourself, get up, go to work, do something productive, I
Oo,
don't know, cook, bake, garden, whatever,
oo,
or spend time with your kids,
oo.
you're also listening while you're speaking, you're listening and you're saying you're trying to absorb that information.
Mm.
So
Tama.
ganun din tayo. So pag wala tayong motivation, talk to yourself. But the way you talk to yourself, you have to also, you have to be careful of what you say to yourself. So when you look at yourself in the
Hmm.
mirror and you say, "Huh, ganda mo talaga ngayon." 'Di ba? 'Di ba? Oh, 'di ba pag
Ganda ng
natawa,
kilay mo.
'di
Mga
ba?
gano'n.
Oh, kilay is life, 'di ba? Pag ganon, then what happens is that you get the smile on your face, you get that energy, you get like you said,
Oo.
no, maganda yung sinabi mo, the fuel, no, gasolina.
Oo.
'Di
Mm.
ba? Kasi
Mm.
kotse lang tayo eh. Kailangan natin ng
Mm.
gasolina. We are just the
Mm.
vehicle, the tool, but we need fuels such as those.
Mm. Kumbaga yung affirming self-talk 'no? Kasi kapag
Yes.
sinabi mo yung mga hindi maganda sa sarili mo, paniniwalaan din ng sarili mo yun, 'di ba?
Yes, that's true.
Oo.
Kung ano sabihin mo sa sarili mo, ang taba mo. 'Di ba?
Mm,
Ang
mm,
taba-taba mo
mm.
dahil sa pandemic. 'Di ba?
Mm,
So ikaw parang kasi pandemic eh. So okay lang everybody's mataba. 'Di ba?
mm.
Parang 'di ba ikaw din yung nagbibigay ng reason. So be careful everybody of what you say to yourself. But you are also
Mm.
your best cheerleader, you know.
Correct. Kaya yun yung ano, healthy self-love, 'di ba?
Yes, that's true.
Oo, ayun na nga. Galing.
Okay.
Okay,
There's
yes.
one more. There's one more before we wrap up. As a
Mhm.
goal-oriented person, how must I manage and prioritize multiple goals so that I can truly thrive in all of them?
Mm.
Well, my dear, sabi ko nga, letter T, take one day at a time.
Mm,
Just like a
mm.
goal, one goal at a time so that you don't
Oo.
get overwhelmed.
Ayun, okay.
Simplify.
Very
Simplify
good.
lang natin. And
Tama.
somebody said that there are no words enough to say to someone who is problematic. Listening is the key.
Kasi oftentimes mas madaling magsalita kaysa makinig, eh, 'di ba sabi mo nga it's a difficult, skill
Mhm.
and it's not actually a gift that everybody has, yung listening and listening with openness and, compassion.
Oh, no
Kasi
judgment, no?
oo, kasi minsan nakikinig tayo kunwari we're silent but deep inside naku ang dami ng mga thought bubbles diyan 'no.
Mm-mm.
So walang talagang pakikinig na nangyayari. So you're right, yung listening is very important.
Okay, great, Ilsa. Wow, we're
Yay!
almost done.
Yes.
Let me just share with you a screen for a slide for everybody to
Mhm,
get to see as we wrap up our session.
mm.
Okay. So, everyone, we are knocking on your generous, generous hearts because as we have said, this endeavor that we did was to support Sitio Talistis Gilid. Ang hirap sabihin, ano, sa Camarines Sur po. And our target lang naman po is 100,000. Hindi ko kaya yung mga milyon-milyones. So we're targeting 100,000 pesos because that represents 2,000 pesos per house. Yun yung nipa hot, coco lumber, pako, tsaka yung tali, may ganun yun, ano. Um, some people are asking me, oh, nasaan na ba kayo sa 100,000? So we want to show everybody and we are thanking everyone for the some pledges and the cash that came in. We are at 60,500 as of today. So we're still short of 39,500 pesos po and we are targeting that December 15 sana we would be able to finish the fundraising and we will send the funds on December 16 para naman there would be mga 7 days, 1 week para itayo muna nila yung kanilang bahay, yung kanilang bubong rather, just the bubong, para naman yung Noche Buena baskets na kung ma-hit natin yung target, they will be able to have a happy Christmas. Kumbaga parang ituloy natin po yung Pasko. So we are knocking on your generous hearts. The link is there. You can donate through GCash or you can, I think this is GCash, and please send me a message if you want to help and we'll send to you the details of how to help out on this endeavor. If just in case, sana naman po, hindi, we have faith, 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 faith. But just in case we fall short because we want them to spend Christmases, a Christmas na may roofs na ho yung bahay nila, what's going to happen is we prioritize the NIPA first, and then whatever is left, that's what we divide for the Noche Buena basket. So if it's not a 500 peso basket, baka 400 peso basket na lang. Pero kailangan lang ituloy natin ang Pasko for everybody. Okay? Ilsa, you might have final words for our viewers for tonight.
Yes, I was listening earlier to a program and they were saying, masarap makatanggap ng regalo ngayong Pasko, pero mas masarap magbigay ng regalo sa ating kapwa. It's a different feeling when we are generous with others rather than just focusing on what we want for this Christmas for ourselves, no? So, kung kaya nyo po, please do give a certain amount. Doesn't have to be an extremely big amount. Of course, any amount will be appreciated. Kung kaya nyo mas malaki, well, thank God. Kung ang kaya nyo ay maliit lamang na amount, ang bawat amount po is an act of love and we really appreciate you being part of this gift to the Christ child and to the victims of Rolly and Ulysses. And we have faith that your hearts will be generous and they are, and we will be able to give a meaningful Christmas to these beneficiaries. And I thank also Coach TGS kasi maraming salamat na inanyayahan mo ako dito sa napakagandang endeavor na ito. Natuwa ako sa ating ginawa ngayong gabi at
Oo nga.
ginagawa pa.
Ah,
Oo,
ah,
ang
ah.
sarap ng feeling.
Yes, yes, and I agree with you, no? May pahabol pa nga tayo sa chat, no? Sabi, when you feel overwhelmed, breathe slowly, call on God to calm you down, and then ask yourself, what's the most important and urgent, and then move from them. So I think that's a
Yes.
very good message from one of our viewers, okay?
Mm-mm.
And with that, I know we may come from different faiths and I'm not a religious channel, but I think it is just but proper to end. Maybe Ilsa, maybe you can lead us to just a short prayer, just to get us, all ready, all ready to move forward, to thrive,
Mm-mm.
for the coming days, and get ready for 2021.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach TGS. And we are inviting all our viewers to join us in this prayer. We are thanking you, dear viewers, for being with us. And you can share this link, of course, even after we have this live session with Coach TGS as well. So let's pray together in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to get together to learn more about your wisdom, and for using each one, not only Coach TGS and myself, but also our viewers, as instruments of hope to each other. We want to be used as channels of your love to each other and to the victims of Raleigh and Ulysses. But we are limited in our capacity and we have our own struggles we are going through. Alam niyo po, ang lahat ng pinagdaraanan ng bawat isang taong narito ngayon sa aming session online. And we pray that you encourage us with your healing graces and with your countless blessings. We are limited, but your love and power are infinite. And we believe that you are the reason for this season. There is Christmas because there is Christ. Please help us experience you being Emmanuel, God with us in every way, as we surrender to you all our activities, our time, our talents, and treasures, so that we can truly glorify you and help others know, especially the victims of Raleigh and Ulysses, that you are alive and that you send human angels to them. So, all of these we thank you for and we glorify you. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank
Ilsa.
you.
Thank you. And for all the people who are watching tonight, maraming salamat. Again, this is a recorded video. So get your friends to watch through Coach TGS. Of course, I will request you to like, subscribe, comment, please, if you like what our sessions as we wrap up. Maybe we could read some of the comments that are coming in. Please subscribe and share. Everybody, share the message that we just did tonight. I am also personally thanking my children who have been my technical assistants, Ada and Mary, who have been with me
Thank you.
the whole evening. Thank you so much. Uh, thank
Yay.
you. Thank you. Can we have some music as we say goodbye to everybody? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and your questions. Bye.
Bye.